Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other, and today's episode is One Punch Man Season 1, Episode 8, The Deep Sea King. Episode in a nutshell is just a brief reminder of what happened in this episode. So the episode starts with Human Rider looking up the rankings for the C rank and noticing that Saitama has quickly climbed up and apparently is in the top 10 now of C rank and almost about to potentially climb even higher. We then go into where an octopus sea folk man comes up onto shore and basically says, "Yield, our king is coming, or you die." But Saitama defeats him. We then move on to the next day when the Deep Sea King and many more of the sea folk come out of the ocean, and the first one to confront them is a hero named Stinger, and he does manage to take out 10 of the regular sea folk before, unfortunately, he does fall to the Deep Sea King. Genos, then at home with Saitama, gets a call from the Hero Association basically saying there's a situation, can you go to City J and check it out? And that is when Genos and Saitama make their way towards it. Genos goes on ahead to scout the area while Saitama keeps running and happens to come across Mumen Rider along the way. Mumen Rider, as he's heading towards the scene, the danger level changes from Tiger to the next one up. I think it's, what is it, Dragon? Or Demon? It's one that starts with a D. And he basically comes across a truck filled with a bunch of heroes in it that are basically saying, "Oh, this is beyond C rank now. You should turn back. We're heading out and evacuating too. Leave it to the stronger heroes." But Mumen Rider, his sense of justice and the fact that Saitama is quickly encroaching on his number one in the C rank spot, decides he's going to keep going. And we then have the Deep Sea King coming across another hero, Lightning Max, who attempts to fight him and is defeated very, very quickly. But this is when we meet the S-class hero, Puri Puri Prisoner, who has been in jail for attacking beautiful men, and is serving a life sentence. And he broke out just to come and defeat this Deep Sea King. And he's very upset because he used to have a crush on both Stinger and Lightning Max. Speed of Sound Sonic kind of took advantage of his escape and escaped too. And so he's there. Then the Pure Pure Prisoner, he decides that he's going to fight the Deep Sea King. And he does get in a few hits, but ultimately he also is defeated as the Deep Sea King is revealed to have a regenerative power, and Pure Pure Prisoner isn't enough to kill him in one strike, and he ends up getting beaten. Speed of Sound Sonic then decides he's going to fight the Deep Sea King, quickly realizes he's outmatched, and decides to use his speed to escape. He leaves his clothes behind as a decoy, though, as he's escaping, and then he finds Genos, warns Genos that things are very difficult here, and the Deep Sea King, especially now that it started raining, has kind of gotten a power-up, and he should be careful before he runs away. Luckily, he can move fast enough that you can't really tell that he is clothless. We then go to a news segment where Amai Mask has gone on to promote his new song and is asked about the hero industry, but he basically says, "You know what, I'm here for my song. Don't ask me about that. I'm not a hero right now. I'm only a hero when I'm confronting evil." And the host apologizes, but then he goes on to make a comment about how um, he finds it disappointing that there are heroes who are defeated by this evil and believes that heroes should not be. Once that happens, the Deep Sea King then makes his way towards a shelter where there are a bunch of civilians, like one of the evacuation shelters, and inside there we have All Back Man, Jet Nice Guy, Bun Bun Man, and Snick, who we met before, and they are then trying to confront the Deep Sea King to save the regular civilians. However, he is beyond their capacity or capability, and they're getting ready to fight him. And then I can't remember if Genos arrives or if that's the next episode. Genos is definitely on his way. And then we have Saitama picking up Human Rider's phone that he dropped, and the Hero Association's on the other line, basically trying to get Human Rider to not go. But Human Rider's already well on his way, dropped his phone, Saitama picks it up, and that is where this episode ends. So now we come into the rankings, and as always, we'll rank on our mostly objective ranking list, as well as the personal ranking list. Oh my goodness, I lost my thought for a moment. Alright, so we now start with our mostly objective rank values, and the multi-episode supporting character introductions are worth 2 points, and that's the Deep Sea King and his followers, as well as then the heroes that we meet, Stinger, Funeral Suspenders, Hyotoko, All Back Man, Jet Nice Guy, Bun Bun Man. These are all the ones that are kind of confronting the king and getting defeated pretty quickly. Lightning Max, honorable mention, and so Snake as well. We've met them before, so they're not introductions, but they were there. Anyways, that's 4 points amongst them. Then we add 3 points, bringing us to 7 for our multi-season supporting character introduction, and this is the S-Class hero Puri Prisoner, who is an interesting one, and does fight without clothing in his full power. We then have our multi-season supporting character development, where we find out, of course, that Sonic has broken out of prison following Puri Prisoner's exit, and he has managed to escape, so probably not going back. And then honorable mention, My Mask did cut his hair from the last time that we'd seen him. And then that brings us to 10, but we did have a negative for this episode, and that's -2 for streaking, because both Puri Prisoner lost all of his clothing when he unleashed his full power, and Speed of Sound Sonic left his clothing behind to frick the Deep Sea King so that he could get enough distance to escape, and now he's running through the city Starkers. So, streaking, I'm pretty sure, is against the law, and that therefore is negative messaging or behavior, which puts this episode as an 8 out of 10 on our mostly objective ranking. So that brings the season ranking so far for our mostly objective ranking to The Strongest Man, The Lone Cyborg, The Modern Ninja, The Ultimate Master, The Terrifying City, The Ultimate Disciple, The Obsessive Scientist, and then this episode comes in 8th, The Deep Sea King. For my personal ranking, I also gave it an 8 out of 10 because I really enjoyed the episode start to finish. I found it entertaining. I liked seeing all of the heroes win and get defeated. As always, that's kind of there so that Saitama shines even brighter when he comes in and defeats it in one punch. But we didn't get any fighting from Genos or Saitama, who are the main characters. We just have them en route. So that kind of, makes it lose a couple of points. But then, Speed of Sound Sonic is one of my personal favorite characters. I think he's hilarious. And so I did enjoy the fact that he was fighting there. I did like the other heroes managing to make a dent, at least. Like Stinger, before he was defeated, killed 10 of the sea folk. He wasn't a match for the Deep Sea King, but then he isn't an S-Class hero, so his strength would be limited. So I don't blame him for that, but I liked that they actually gave some of the heroes a little bit of showing before they got defeated. And I also like that when they were introducing these heroes, for the most part, they're giving them enough screen time to make knowing their name worth it, which they don't always do. Like, for example, with the batch heroes in the truck, or even in the evacuation center, the only reason I know the names of the heroes is because they announce themselves, but the only one who's really memorable is Snick because we met him before and I like saying his name. But ultimately, I thought an 8 out of 10 was fair because while it was incredibly entertaining, I was missing my main characters. And that then brings the personal rankings so far for the season to the Ultimate Master, the Obsessive Scientist. I put this one at the top of the eights. In third place, the Deep Sea King. Then the Strongest Man, the Lone Cyborg, the Terrifying City, the Modern Ninja, and then currently in last for me is the Ultimate Disciple. And so our series ranking so far, on our mostly objective ranking, we have a score of 75 out of 120. And then on the personal ranking, we have a score of 60 out of 120. And with that, we've now rewatched and ranked One Punch Man Season 1, Episode 8, The Deep Sea King. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.